Hello, so good morning, everyone. So, welcome to this session. So, for today, we'll have to have a review on week two before we'll have our formal discussion on week three. So, let's say we have week two here. It's about ADT. Okay. All right. So, we are now going to I have now created actually a project here and it says week 2 ADT. So this time we're gonna be creating an abstract data type. Okay, but before that, let's have first a an elaboration of time complexity. So on in a possible note, how are we going to provide as a computer science students, as a computer engineering students, how do we really guarantee that we are able to create the right program in a right way? How are we going to really give them how can we really prove that our program is the best one, no? So that's actually the comsci thing. Okay, so let's have as I had an example. I mean, the given example that I had when in during in the week 2 was the typical one, which is the sum of natural number. Okay, so it seems like when you debate, as I've said, there's always a lot in every problem. There can be many possible solutions, and it depends on your logical thinking, and uh, it depends on you as a programmer. Okay, so I'm going to have a separate discussion on that, but this time let's focus on the abstract data type or the creation of ADT. So again, when we create an ADT, there are actually a lot of ADTs that we can actually take advantage and inside of a Java program already. But this time we are going to do our own. We are going to create our own ADT. So we have there as an example water tank. Okay, so let's have water tank as an ADT. So this time, in Java, it must you have to have a main class, so that you're able to run a program. But in terms of creating an ADT, you don't have to include a what they call this one a main in that particular class. It's because it is once it is ADT. Okay, so normally when we get to create an ADT, we'll have to take and always remember that we are actually simulating a real world objects. It's going to be, yeah, object. I know I have already discussed this one, that we are actually surrounded with objects. Okay, you can have your pen, you can have speaker, anything you can actually see as whether it's tangible or not. It's as long as they can be like they have properties, they can be described through their attributes, and then they have what they call this one, they have behaviors. They can be called as an object. Okay, let's say we'll have here water tank. So normally a water tank has properties. Okay, properties are like what we can describe the water tank based on its appearance, right? We can describe the water tank based on its like capacity, its length, or its parang it's the radius, its height, width, length, brand, things like that. Now we can describe water tank as like that. And then the behavior of water tank is going to be, there are only probably two. It's either it is if you fill in water to that, or something like add water to your water tank, or probably remove water to water tank. Okay, so let's start with first the data members or the properties. Okay, data members. By the way, you can also do like follow or repeat after me, or follow my code demonstration. So I'm just going to make it like slow, dili lang ko magpas-pas. So data members, again, going back, let's back where we left off. We have here data members or the properties of our water tank. So also in creating an ADT, you'll have to also in Java, you'll have to consider the the access specifier or modifier of Java, which is there are actually three. Okay, we have private, public, and protected. So when we say public, of course, from the word itself, meaning to say it can be accessed even outside of this class. Okay, like for an instance, we have People's Park. It's a public place. Anyone can just go there, whether you're not a citizen here in the Philippines, or you're not actually residing here in Davao City. You can actually go there. It's because it's public. Okay, so once we say private, it's going to be only available or present in this certain place. So meaning to say, if we assign our attribute, our data member as private, it's not going to be available outside of this water tank class. So let's say for an instance, we are going to have here the capacity, or let's say let's have double na lang. So okay, double capacity. You can have a whole number for your water tank. So meaning capacity of your water tank, rather, if it's 1,000 liter, or if it's 5,000 liter, it depends to you, no? Okay, so now this capacity now is not going to be cannot be accessed outside of this class. Okay. Another thing is, if we are going to, yeah, we can have directly do current water here. So current water. So for us to know what's the current status of our water tank, so at least instead of measuring them, measuring our water tank, we get to go there and measure. Let's say for an instance, we have already the app in our phone, and then we are able to access, and we are able to see, what's the current status of our water tank. So let's say for an instance, let's assume that we are now creating an app that we are able to access that the status of our water tank through our mobile app. Okay, so we are now able to see the capacity, at the same time the current water of the water tank, and as to how many ml already, no, it has stored. Okay, so this time you have two characteristics or properties of a water tank. You can actually include like brand, yeah, color, height probably, or anything like that. You can there's no one stopping you from doing that actually. Okay, so but this time let's have only this two, no, private members of water tank. So again, I want to elaborate something on the private and public thing. It's because uh, it's like that is actually the role or the purpose of ADT. It's like having a watch, no? If yeah, in layman's terms, sige, naa kay relo. 'Di ba? Ang watch, ang pinaka role or pinaka goal sa watch is for us to see the time. And then if ever the watch is actually made in a way that what's inside of that watch can be accessed by the people like us, so nearly or probably dali lang siya magkuba, because we are able to access the gear, we are able to access the yung parang if it's digital, we are able to access the ICs and all that, so it can be easily damaged. So that's why we make the as much as possible, we make the data members or the parts uh, not available to the user, not available to us, no, especially us. So only the functionality it's going to be available to us. Like at least we are able to get to see the time, the minutes or the seconds or whatsoever. Basta in ana ang iyang idea. Okay, so this time I'm going to discuss to you in ADT or creating ADT, there are actually four types of operations. Okay, so there are four types of operations. So what are these operations? First is, okay, wait for a while. So again, you can interrupt me while I'm discussing. So first is creator. Okay, so creator is used to initialize or used to create something, no, create or initialize something. So what is this something that you're trying to say, sir, it's going to be your variable, it's going to be your object or anything as long as you do initialization. Okay, next is we have transformer. So what do you mean by transformer? So transformer in as in operation or as an operation of water tank, it's it's an operation of water tank that is used to change the state of the object, no? Change the state of the object. For instance, we want the we for us to change the state of the object of water tank, of course, we have to have this like operation in which we can the behavior one two probable behaviors of water tank are probably add water and remove water. So therefore, when we get to add water into water tank, the state of the object of that water tank will now be changed. Okay? It is going to change ang changes, ang manifestation where the manifestation na nag-change siya, it's because it has water in it already. Okay? So it is used to change the state of the object. Okay? That's transformer. The third one is we have observers. Okay, what do you mean by observers? So observers naman class, observers are actually used, observer or observers, sige, ato na lang ning i-plural tanan para ano, patas. Okay, so if we say observers, these are actually an operations that in ADT that are used to that we use for transparency, no, for us to know the state of the object. This one is to change the state. This one is to know the state, know the state of the object. So what is that all about, sir? Let's ba in our we know that our cell phone, our smartphone has battery, right? There is battery in there. So and the only way for us to know, no, to know the status of the battery is we have there at the top portion of our smartphone sa atong screen the indication, the percentage of the our battery. But it's actually just a representation of the battery or the status of our battery, no, to know the state or the status of our battery. That's the observers. But actually our our battery is actually there, no, behind that case, behind that encapsulated uh, objects as a smartphone. Okay, so sa transformers, it's what are the ano pa, what are the things that make the that battery ma-drain or mag-diminish iyang value or mag-ano iyang value by way of pwede ta when we are doing games, when we do messenger chat or whatsoever, basta as long as you use your phone, that's something na it makes our object change its state. So meaning that that is the transformer. So the observer is something that displays, something that show off this the current status of our object. So again, all of these are uh, related by nature. So there, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Okay. Ah, we you can actually you can also do that or invoke that in your program, but it depends on what would you like to achieve. But what we are going to achieve in our water tank, it's something like if our water tank is full, if it's empty, if it's yeah, basically if it's empty or if it's full, something like that. We have this the same thing with the battery on how it works, right, in our phone. We know with if it has its battery percentage or something like that. so that you're able to know if it's already full or if it's empty, or so that you now need to charge your you now need to plug in or charge your phone. That's actually the idea why we have observers. Did I current water? Yeah, it's part of it. How much the capacity? How much the capacity of the current water? Yeah, you're already well versed with this. So because you have your OOP, right? And you have already discussed all this. Okay, observers, transformers, and all that. Yeah, yeah. So you already discussed water tank. Iba. Okay. Example of transformer, something that changes the state of the object. Okay. What could possibly change the change or the state of the water tank? Mm, pwede. That could be, no? But it's something that if yeah, that could be possibly, but I mean the state of the water tank is something that something that currently you have the water tank considering whatever, regardless of it is a metal or if it is just a plastic or it is an aluminum or what, it's the current state for you to change the state of the object of the water tank is by una is you add water to it, so meaning there's a change of the state of the object already because it has now water in it. Okay, so then if you are going to remove water, you can that is also one of the things that you can change the state of the object. Another thing is if you have this like you can actually change the color of your water tank. If that is possible, you can do that. That is also another way of saying it's a transformer thing because you are able to change and transform the state of your water tank. Like you want to change the color, it's a let's say if it's gray and you want to make it like red or blue, that can be also done, especially if we're trying to trying to you have the simulation process of a water tank digitally. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I mean, so what are you trying to elaborate or imply here? Like you create, yes, yes. It's like you're going to create another, let's say you're going to create another water tank, another version of a water tank through, yeah, yes, okay. See, thank you, thank you. No, no problem. It's not problem. Okay, and then the fourth one is actually input output. Yeah, by the way, in terms of object-oriented principle, it's like as we all know, ADT or abstract data type. It's just an implementation of encapsulation. Yeah. So now, these things right here are actually present in the OOP concepts. While, 'di ba, we have this in OOP, we have this what we call setters and getters, accessors and mutators. Actually, when we get to relate this one to OOP, this would become your setters, and in other books we call it mutators. That's in OOP. then this one would be your getters, and this would be your accessors. Okay. Yeah, in OOP, that's the action. That's this one. Sorry, accessors. What happened? We don't have that one. We don't have. Anyway, sige. So again, I would like to, this one, if in OOP concepts, this could be another meaning of this one is actually setters or mutators. So because mutate, no, there's changes in the object. And then getters and accessors, meaning you get to access, you get to it is used to show off information so that we are able to know the current state of the object. And then for the input and output, normally we take input from the users, and of course we give the output afterwards, because that's very important for the users. And to be so that specifically we can actually we also storing data, or storing the data into, like, writing it into a file or reading it into a file, is what makes this input and output as a concept. uh, I mean, it's as part of the operation of ADT, or this ADT water tank. So right again, from the user's entry, and then we give out information to the user for them to know, for them to know, no, for them to know the yan, the current state as an output na the isa pa, what else? Writing them to a file, writing them to a database if ever there is. So that's input and output. Probably data entry, and just displaying an information about your ADT, okay, or your object. Okay, I'm pretty much sure you already discussed constructor, right? Very good. So how many constructors do we have? How many types of constructors do we have in OOP? This is not, yeah, I mean, it's relatable because ADT is just part of, like, when we say OOP concepts. That is why I actually told you that it's supposed to be, before you take this course, supposed to be dapat na ano mo yung OOP. So it's like nagsabay siya, no? So dapat naka-OOP na mo, because data structure is like more advanced na discussion on ADT creation. Anyway, so there are actually three types of constructors. We have the default constructor, the parameterized constructor, and we have the copy constructor. And I will not get delve into that one, but let's have a few examples to that. Let's say we have here let's say, by the way, in Java, when in Java, there is this, what we call, when you create an object, you'll have to use constructors. No, so these are actually your creators. So your constructors are actually your creators. As I've said, it's used to create or initialize something. If you wanna create or initialize the capacity or current water into a certain value, that's actually a creator. So basically, your constructors are actually, the example for that are actually creators. The example of actually creator is actually constructor. So in Java, there is this what we call default constructor. Whether you explicitly declared it or defined it to your program or not at all, Java automatically creates it. Example, I will create a another, let's say I'm going to test this water tank. Okay. So I'm going to test this water tank in there. And then I have here okay. Then I'll create here main. Okay. So I'm going to call water tank. So water tank, let's say tank is equal to new water tank. So right here, I am able to initialize my object tank. So basically, tank is an object of water tank class. And what is this all about? This is actually a constructor. This is actually a creator. So where do we I mean, where this one actually is created? Actually, it's actually automatically created in Java, whether you put it or not. You explicitly declared it or not. So Java automatically creates a default constructor for us. So if you want to explicitly create it, you can just simply do something like this: public water tank. Sorry, water tank. So this is now a default constructor. Okay, default constructor. Okay, even in C sharp, even in .NET, even in PHP, even in other languages like Dart, there is also constructor, because again, the data structures does not rely on a specific language. It's just a concept. Okay, so C++ has constructor, and also has destructor. Okay, so but in Java, because Java is a garbage collection programming, meaning it's GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. The moment we terminate or end our program, it automatically free some space, free up our memory, no? So that's actually why Java is a good programming language, because it's a garbage collection programming language. I'm pretty much sure Python also is a garbage collection programming language, the same with Java. Okay, so we have here constructor. If again, based on our definition, we have here create or initialize something. So let's say for an instance, I want to initialize my capacity. The moment I'm going to instantiate my water tank using default constructor, and I want my capacity to have like let's say I have here 1,000 liters, okay, or 1,000.5 because we're using double. Or if you want to have a fixed value on that, let's say like this, okay. So that's basically default constructor. So meaning to say, we're here in our other class, and we call the water tank. It means to say that our here, no, it means to say that we are actually accessing the default constructor. Okay, we used to instantiate our tank in by default constructor. So meaning to say, the capacity now is actually 1,000 liters. So this is now, how do we know as a user? Now, how do we know that we have 1,000 capacity for our water tank? And that's now the work of observers, which is later on I'm gonna show you. But actually, to give you an idea on how it could possibly be done, you can actually go something like this. So public double, let's say this capacity. So let's say get capacity, and then you'll have something like return capacity. Capacity. Wrong spelling, wrong. Keyboard is not working properly. Joke lang. So, si keyboard ang mali ato. So, you have here return capacity. So, it means to say this is actually an example of observer. Okay? So, wherein you can actually call that one here. So, let's say we have a console base, and then let's say capacity. And then we have here tank that, let's say, get capacity. So that's it, no? We use observers to access the, asa naman to kung run dire? Ayun. So we use this observers to access the our capacity. So that's why it's actually defined as public. Okay, so this is an example of observer. So again, this is your creator. So I'm just explaining default constructor. So again, from the word itself, default, automatically Java creates it. So let's say we have here currently we have current water. Let's say we have an emptied water tank or an empty water tank. So, of course, you can always create an observer for that by just declaring another, let's say, get or current water, that's sonanta, or sige, get, tangan nato para uniform. So, I have current water, and then we have return current water. Yeah, there. Okay. And then we can also call it from here by, say, okay, let's just simply copy paste this one. So this is like water tank, sorry, current water. So this is like get current water. Yeah, so you're able to access, okay, by using observers, you're able to access the values from there. And you don't have to, all the time later on if yeah, kulang na 'tong time, no? So later on, if we are going to create a UI, probably UI components of this one, observers, this will always be displayed if you wish. But if you want na, it depends on the user's interaction. If saka pa niya i-display, if he wants or she wants to display capacity or get current water. But basically, observers are used for automatically mag-display na dapat siya sa sa atuang parang sa atong UI, okay? Another type of constructor is parameterized constructor. So when we say parameterized constructor. Okay. So when we say parameterized constructor, it's actually a constructor uh, having an argument or a parameter. If you are going to ask me questions, sir, as to how many parameters Java can have, okay, you can have as much as you can. Okay, just make sure na ano siya, just make sure na uh, masabtan pa, no? But again, you can have as much as you can. Actually, in OOP, this is what we called overloaded constructor. Diba? Object-oriented programming, you have encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. And even in Java, there are advanced OOP, which are interfaces, abstract classes, and all that. So this is an example of overloading, particularly uh, this is what we call overloaded constructor, and this is actually uh, related to the concepts of, shall we say, polymorphism. No, poly means many, morphe means forms, ability of a class to have many forms. So right here, let's say for an instance, you want the user to have shall we say, the opportunity to create something, now a water tank that is, he or she can actually has the advantage to set its capacity. Okay, so you can actually do that by declaring int capacity as your parameter in the parameterized constructor. So here inside of this one, yeah, as you can see, you have here, para dili ma-confuse, natay ginatawag na, okay, in layman's term, as you can see, I have here the capacity as the attribute or property of my water tank, and I have here another capacity of as a parameter. So they are actually in the same class, but it's allowed. However, Java recognizes capacity automatically from this right here, no, from this parameter. So for you to actually you can actually, since Java is a, what we call this one, it's a not case, it's a case sensitive, you can actually something like put C, capital C, uppercase C, and then you use capital C or uppercase C right here, and you're actually assigning the parameter capacity to capacity, and this one you'll get to store whatever the user is going to enter for this. Now that's if you wanna use the same name, Java has this way of like creating the object by itself. It's like it's actually a keyword that you are trying to create an object by itself rather than creating a real object. This means it's an object of water tank, but you don't actually create a specific object of this water tank. So meaning to say, instead of having water tank, let's say for an instance, I have here water tank. Instead of I'm going to, sorry, instead of I'm going to create an instance of water tank, which is tank, Okay, I can actually use that instead of declaring tank as an object of water tank, and I will get to use this one right here. Instead of doing that, you can actually use this instead. Okay, so you can actually this instead, meaning you reference the object itself. Yeah, so just wait for a while. Yeah, so it's like that. So as you can see, it's color coding. So capacity refers to the global variable right there, no, capacity, which is an instance of water tank. And then you have here a parameterized value, which is capacity. So it means this is a user's entry from user. So if the user tends, or you as a programmer, once there is this parang opportunity for you to create your own water tank rather than uh, always 1000 liters, you can actually do that. So in here, right here, if I'm gonna be declaring my water tank to have 5,000 liter instead of having it like 1,000 liter, I can actually do that through our constructor. So that's how creator or constructor works. You have now the ability to actually set your own object, set your own your own water tank. So this time you are able to set your water tank to have capacity initially at 5,000. If you don't want to, then you can have something like 1,000, but it depends to you. Of course, once this one will become an API, you don't have the access on it. The only the only time the user has access on it when you are going to declare an object here. Okay? So is there any question? What do you mean private water tank? This one. This one. Ah, this one. Uh, if in case you will make this as a private water tank, it is possible, but it's not. It's no longer. It's not actually here. No, you're not able to. It will occur or give you an error because there's no such thing as I've said earlier. Private means it can only be available or can be only accessed within the class. But since we are now in the other class, it's now going to be it cannot be accessed. You cannot access it anymore from there because it's already declared as public. So it's like it's for private use only. It's only made available within this class. Yes, yes, because that's the role of an ADT, making only the behavior available to the user who is going to be using it, or to the user who is going to be probably taking advantage of your object water tank. Let's say for an instance, diba? Like, uh, wait for an instance. Let's say you have, let's say you have here a string, no? And then this string has actually a lot of methods belong to it. You can actually say like you can convert them into two lowercase. You can actually convert any string into a two uppercase. So this one are fully abstracted. This one are actually declared as public, but what is inside of it is not actually it's beyond our control. I mean, we don't have that uh kung giunsa siya paghimo behind it is we don't have the access on it because we only have the access on the public, which is the behavior of that string, no? Same through right here sa atuang water tank, which is we the only thing that we have access on is this public members. And we are actually in here, no, there are actually kanisha, we are actually the creator of this ADT, and then we are just testing our it's we are just actually testing and parang at least if to test if we our program or our ADT is correct. This is just for like testing our ADT, no? Before we deploy them, no? Before we share to other users, or before we will get to share this to other people. Okay, so most probably because this will become your API, probably if you will really you would like to become to become a programmer, you might probably be creating package libraries, and then this package libraries contains classes, and then it will become API, and then eventually other users can make use of it. Okay, so yes, how can we change the how can we change the current water? This one. Okay. What do you mean inside this one? Like, okay, this one. Yeah, yeah. Instead, if possible, sorry, I'm sorry. I was looking actually the time, and it's 10:49, and we only have 1 hour. Yeah, it's example I have here. I can actually we can do this all day. I love doing this all day, but we only have 1 hour. So it's yeah, yeah. You can do that by so because it's that's the actually the advantage of OOP, right? You have polymorphic methods. Once you have polymorphic methods, you can have either you can actually once polymorphic methods means it's the class has different behaviors. I mean the method that object has actually different behaviors. Okay, so it's like a pen. No, pen has different behaviors. It could be something like sa behavior sa pen. Anyway, unsay mga behavior sa pen? Pen jud akong naano 'no. Basta electric fan, electric fan natay mga stand fan, natay wall fan, natay, ceiling fan, but they are all fan, no? That's how object, fan as a polymorphic object. So once you create that in simulate that in a programming because we're able to do that in OOP, right? Like what we can actually do here, it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful programming concepts, no? Because OOP actually is a powerful programming concepts, and we are, yeah, no, it's in data structure we are also doing the same of as to what actually this is an application of fully object oriented programming. Okay, now let me proceed. Let me continue. If yes, application programming interface. Oo. It's uh, sige, let's put it this way. Kana ganing you are going to create a package library and then all this, like for an instance, um, this can be an example of like APIs where we can actually it's built in Java. It's either built in ba or it's created by some programmer. It depends, but and then it's put into a package, and then once it's put into a package, you are now able to use them. You can actually make other users to use it anytime they want without creating again parang without creating them by your own, no, or by their on their own. It's like using them as an basta it's a package library where it includes um, encapsulated objects, anything you want to put in there. Basta it's a collection, no, it's a collection of everything you want to everyone you want to do for the user na pwede nila gamiton sa ilang program. Okay, so one example to that in Java is that uh, let's say we have Java has actually vector, which is a dynamic array, dynamic array, dynamic arrays. As we all know, array is fixed, right? So let's say for an instance, we have here vector So it's under java.util na package. We can say this as an, let's say, an API. Wait for a while. Yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, yeah, it's actually that's the purpose of, that's the purpose of OOP and OOP. That's actually the purpose of OOP, because it will teach you how to create your own API. Because if you have really a good foundation in OOP, you can actually create the right API for it's. I'm going to actually import this util that vector. Yan. So as an API, let's say vector, it has add object. Instead of you will create, 'di ba, an array, uh, you'll have to really create an instruction to as when you want to store an object to it, store a data to it or element to it. Instead of doing that, no, all the time again and again, user can actually take advantage of the API that you have created. So instead of let's say you want the user to just use or take advantage of the add, which you can actually store 45 in there. So rather than letting the user to create their own add function or add method. So that's actually the one of the purposes now of an API. But there is so much more in the API that you could actually learn, and it's rampant. No, it's actually it's most used in in mga unsay tawag na to ani web, no, web programming. Yeah. And that the basis for creating API is you'll have to have a good foundation in OOP. Okay? Sige. Did I answer you? Kinsa man to siya? Whoever is that asking me a question? Hi, yeah. Oh, welcome, welcome. Okay, so going back, anyway, our focus here is to create a water tank, and we are now. So, if you would allow me to create, although this one is not necessarily, but I mean necessary, if you would allow me to also do this one, it's like this one, water tank. You, I mean, allow me to create the last. Uh, I hope, no, ma-appeal ninyo sa inyong sa inyong OOP. It's because this one is what we call copy constructor. So copy constructor is, it means instead of uh, you just want to copy, no, you just want to copy the object, whatever that object has o sa iyang mga property ana, you are going to just copy the object, no. So if it's 5,000, it has 5,000 capacity, tapos it has 1,000 liters of current water, it will just copy the sana. Okay, so right here you can have here like tank. So this is an example of copy constructor where you can actually to tank that. Okay. And then here, so sorry, tank that capacity into, let's say, this that capacity. Okay, something like this one. So if you're going to call this from here, of course, you can actually say something or ganta, no? So let's say I'm going to create another tank object, and I wanna copy the behavior or the properties of the tank one. All I just need to do is something like call it there. So meaning this tank one is just going to copy the property of tank. Okay. So in which in OOP that's it something, no, sometimes you have this there are other times that you might be using this one. Anyway, this is not our focus right here, but these ones are what we call constructors, probably one of the operations in ADT, which is creator. So we have constructors are creators. So they are used to initialize or create something, or even declare your initial value for capacity, current water, and whatsoever. Now, let's proceed. Some we have already declared observers right here. Okay, and then if we want to yeah, we have already current water, we have sa pa. For transformers, we can do something like, okay, for transformers we can actually create, okay, so let's say for an instance, add water. Sige, para layman's term lang siya. And then you are going to ask the user to how much amount of water. So let's say for an instance, double amount. Okay. And then, of course, for you to change the state of the object, you'll have to use the current water by saying current water plus equals to the amount. Sorry. So now, if I'm going to call it right here in my test water tank, let's say for an instance, I'm gonna erase this one, ha. So currently, mao niya to ang capacity and water tank with what 10,000 liters, and then uh, I wanna call some transformer there, which is add water, okay, and then I wanna something like add 2,000 of liters. So this time, let's see if there is now a change of the water. So there is, okay, current water, something like, so again now we don't have any, wala pa, dili pa ni siya, as in layo pa jud siya. Ano lang sa ni, i-test lang sa ato ang ADT as to how it works. So we have here current water tank get current water liters. So let's say for an instance, if we are going to run this one, where are you? Yun. So wait, I'm gonna run this one again. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we have here, we have just added a water to at line 8, and we are able to actually uh, change the state of the water tank now by having 2,000 liters in it. Okay. So from current water 0, we are now able to have 2,000 liters. Okay, so from 0 it becomes 2,000 liters. So now we are going to what I have just said earlier. How do we know that our tank is full if or it's either empty? So probably you can actually do something like saying is empty, no? And then you have your return. Let's say, how do we know if a water tank is empty? If it's what? Logically, if it is, how do we know if a water tank is empty? If it's okay, if it's capacity, very good, very good. If the current water is what? If it's equal to 0, right? Tama, no? If the current water rather is equal to 0, that means our tank is empty. So meaning we are now able to actually this is just a lookout, no? Parang lookout lang ng observers na if it's is we know if it's empty if the we know if it's empty. And if our application has that capability, then it's good, no? Mura ko sa database na you insert records. After you insert records, mayroon din na ang database na let's say one record or records affected. Kung 3 records imong gi-manipulate, 3 records affected. So in ana no na at least we always give reasons unsay na, I mean we always give lags, no, as to unsay nahitabo sa kasi again, no, it's a transaction, so meaning dapat na mga lags. So it's one way or the other na pwede natin i-apply, okay? Another one is, if how do we know if it's full? So if it's full, if Very yes, very good. Okay. It reaches to its limit, no? So if it's equal to capacity, or to be safe, greater than or equal to capacity. But again, it depends on your condition or logical thinking later on. Anyway, we can actually do right here, no? We can actually include it right here in our program. So let's say is it full? So we can actually call it right here, tank that is full, and it will give you something like true or false. But again, don't delimit yourself by using boolean true or false. You can actually use yes or no, but it depends on your preference. By then, if you want to do something like that, of course, you can make this a string, no? And then yes or no, you will use yes or no. However, you will have to use if conditions. Now, let's say for an instance, you want to create another. Let's say this one is a string, and let's say this one is empty2. Kasi ato na siyang pangalang empty2. So you'll have to do something like if so let's have here current water. So if current water is equal to 0, return yes. So means it's empty, else return no. Okay. So because it's a string now, so you can actually during the test here, you can actually call it, no? So is it empty? Tank that is empty too. Okay. So ayan, no? Then the moment you run this program again, and then let's put it this one right here after we add water. So again, this is just simple, ha. Wala pa tay parang it's like wala pa tay uh, option na user can add water, user can remove water. We are just testing our ADT. Okay, so right here at the first uh, when during the first ano no during the first few lines of our codes, it says that our our is false, is empty true. So meaning this one is the is empty two, which is string, yes. And then the moment you add water to it, okay, the moment you add the moment you add water to it, then this time, sorry na nag-call. The moment you add water to it, the is empty now becomes false. From here, is empty is still it's actually true originally, but this time since we added some water to our water tank, it's now become false. So let's say for an instance, we have 10,000. So to make that one na mahimong full, let's say if there is a change now of our water tank or the object of our water tank. So let's say para makompleto ni siya, we have 8,000. Okay? 8,000 plus 2,000, it's 10,000. So dapat ato ang is full diri will become true. Okay? So let's run again, and then so it's right there. So as you can see, you have here is full is now true from there, no? 2,000 we added. Okay, you can actually put something like we just added 2,000, we just added 8,000. It depends to you, no? Again, it depends to the user. This is where the user preference. So he might be or she might be going to create parang a UI to that, adding of water, removing of water. So ang atwa is this one kani, no? This one is what comsci would do, no? This is what could be what IT would do, what IS would do. They are just going to take advantage of what we create. Okay? So as you can see again, from there na atong current water is now become 10,000. It is full now becomes true. But there is a problem with this. Okay? What if, okay? Siyempre, what if you are going to keep on adding water? No, I mean, you keep on adding water, so 3,000, blah, 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 etc. And you added water, another, no, 2,000, 8,000. And if you are going to display, Okay, if you are going to display current water, okay, that's it. Yan, if you're going to display it, you have here 1,000, 13,000 rather, and then that is exceeding the limit already. So how is it possible? No, dili na siya pwede, dapat tama. It's not possible because we only have 10,000 as the capacity of our water tank. So that is now your role. No, that is now your role as a programmer. So you have to put a business logic to it. No, we call it business logic because you are going to write your own instruction inside of, not just by like this one. No, you have here add water. So kani mao ni akong before I will do you have any other class after this? Hello. You don't have. Okay, okay. So, sige, okay ra mag-continue ta. For all others na gusto na mohawa, you can leave because we only have 1 hour. I'm going to finish this one if you want. If you want to I mean to go out na, you can go out. But if you want to stay, you can stay please. Please manhugos jud no. Okay? However, nabakoy klase after this one. Murag. Sige lang. Anyway, yung murag naa sige paspasan sa nato gamay. So this is now that situation, it could be like this. So naatay duha ka options ana class. Based on experience, this is how it is going to be. It it para sa ko ano, there are actually two types of programmers. One who is actually generous, or what's the other term for generous? Benevolence, no? Benevolent, something like you are too generous. So you will some, and that's the other one is something like selfish, but selfish in a way that you also give the opportunity for the other, no, users, for the users to learn their own logic, no, parang uh, you leave it to them already. Parang when you create an object, you will leave it to them that na sila na mohimo og business logic for their program. Like for an instance, you can become a generous programmer if you are going to put logic here. Like for an instance, you want to trap the error that if, okay, that if is full, okay, if is full, you are going to display something like an error, no, error which, let's say, tank is already full. Okay, and then otherwise, that's the time you will process the adding of water. So if it's already full, you can say or display something tank is already full. Pero there is also a loophole for this one, no? But let's try uh, something like, let's run the program. Yeah, it's already full. Okay, na ngayon siya tank is already full, so you're not able to make that. You cannot keep on adding and adding and adding. So the user would have now, at least, no, when the user uses, or say, let's say IT would take advantage of this ADT of yours. When he or she creates a program that take advantage of this water tank thing, then uh, everything is already provided to him or her. All he or she just needs to do is call the methods. Okay? So, leaving him or her na wala na siya gibuhat. Wala na yung logic formulation to him. Ano? There is no longer or no more logic formulation within sa iya. No? So, parang it's just nagamit lang jud siya. But there is another side of the story, which is you make that user do his or her own part, especially not just a typical user na siya because ni program siya. It means pwede siya na IT siya or another comsci. Probably you can have, let's say, another add water, which is let's say this one is fill water na lang, fill water. Okay, and then you just provide him that method with something like current something chu-chu like this. Now in here, okay, when imagine wala ni siya, now imagine wala ning add water. So of course, the one that I have given you earlier katong scenario na maka-add ta og water even though full na, it's now the work of parang so user can have like this one. Siya na maghimog condition na if tank that is full. Okay. So if tank that is full, so you can say user or the your user now or someone who use the your ADT can now do something like whatever she would like to do as a display like oops, something like at least no na siya idea to snap tank is full. Something like at least no he has or she has the ability to mm, to has parang opportunity to customize his own water tank. Then otherwise, you proceed with you proceed with tank that let's say not add water but fill water. Let's say we take the amount. Okay. Do you get what I just do you follow katong yeah, na-follow niyo. Asa mo dito? I mean, let me ask you now, I mean, sige, asa mo dapit dito na programmer? Katong isa ka programmer or katong kanina programmer? Kanina? Oo. Actually, 'pag ang ani siya, 'pag generic siya, 'pag if you are trying to create a generic 'no, meaning we have this what we call software kasi bespoke and generic. 'Pag generic, generic siya meaning everyone can use it, puwede siya na basta generic 'no. You do it ang intention mo na is for everyone 'no. So, puwede na it could be something like, kadtong isa kaning like this. Pero 'pag bespoke na, I mean 'pag generic siya puwede kani. Pero 'pag bespoke na like intended for you, for the group, for the team, mas okay po ni siya na solution. Because again, you as a team pretty much sure has idea of what you are trying to or what you are actually what I mean you are doing no in within your team. So yan. But the thing there is again, it depends on your preference. Again, it's a matter of preference. As a programmer, we have this either give them everything they need or let them do their own thing in which at least you give them the opportunity to learn on their own. Okay, so actually we're ang Java has Java is uh, Java developers is this one no this is the type of Java developers. I mean like for an instance katong vector na akong gi-show off ganina no, so you add water but there is actually in the vector na ADT there's a method there that says if you want to look for a certain value if it's found in the element or not. So basically you will be the one if ikaw ang nagamit ng vector, you will be the one to do that on your own. Like though you don't have to do the loop process because it's already if it's there's already method that will look no behind it na nangita na, but you will be the one to do the if condition. If that value is a certain value is found in the element of the array, then what do you do with that, no? And then otherwise, what if wala siya nakita or what if inana? So again, what I'm trying to elaborate here is it's just a matter of preference depending on you, no, as a programmer. Again, depending on your preference. All right, let's do you still want to continue this one? How many are we here? Napa, there are 11. Oh, still good. Kaya lang 'no, check na ako kung klase B na ba ako'y klase ani? After? Na ba? Wait lang, let me check. Let me check. Yeah, please, throw me any question before we'll proceed. Opo, opo, opo. Opo, opo, opo. Sige po, wait ha. Asa naman 'to? Akong asynchronous 'yun. Na ko'y klase. 11 okey, 1 to 2 pa ang next class nako. Sige, okey ra mo tiwas ta ani, 1 to 2 pa. Anyway, 1 to 2 is still, data structure yata, 'yan. Anyway, okay. So, that's it. Let's go back to water tank if you don't have question. Can you guys hear that sound na medyo na nag-fix ay na nagdukdok? I'm sorry for that ha, medyo among neighbor kay naay ginabuhat na akong ang duol mo gud among room sa ilahang sani. Sorry for that. Kusog, medyo, not too much. Okay, I'm using crisp naman anyway. So, naa siya'y noise suppression. Yeah, that's it though. So we have add water. So also we can, so how do we remove water? Of course, no, ang remove water would be remove water. So you just have to, yeah, there's one thing that I need to elaborate. So there are nice situation actually, which is I leave this one to you later on as your activity. Nice situation na either even you have this if condition in your add water, but let's say for an instance, you even though it's already full, let's say for an instance, you have here 8,000 and you will put it right here like 12,000, making it 2,000 plus 12,000 is like 4,000, right? And then when you run that program, it will be still process, though there is, uh, as you can observe, no, though there is actually business logic in your add water saying if your tank is going to be in that if it's full. But in that case, no, in that case, because earlier we just put here something like to fix, something like to conclude our water tank, no, to make it full, like butang na to siya 8,000 to make it 10,000, but this time you put 12,000 instead of 2,000, but it's processed successfully, right? So that is the logic I want to leave to you, which is as an I will give that one as an activity para you can also work with that, no. That's the same thing in the is empty actually, no. So that's the same thing is in is empty, I mean is in removing water. Even though you have this one, if you keep on removing water, let's say you have current water 5,000 and you remove 6,000, it will be successfully processed, though it is more than more than to the current water. Kasi it's because hint for that, it's because you don't have, based on our condition, you don't have actually the parang it's you don't have actually the a condition here saying that once the water is being added, you don't the our based on our situation here or our condition, it does not actually guarantee that the water that we are going to add is, if it is going to be, we don't have that at a scenario na if it the water that is going to be added is if it sums up now based on the current water, mas mulampas pa siya sa imuhang capacity. So we don't have that one right there in our program. So anyway, basta no, you will find it you will find it parang later on, no, as you go along with this adding of water. Okay, so you have here current water, remove water, fill water, blah blah blah. We have got capacity is current water. You can also add in your observer something like, yeah, so here puwede pod mo magbutang og instead of, 'di ba, like for an instance, you want to have a how parang what they call that one? Allowable, what is that? Kanang you want to also include in your observer if 'di ba from sa flash drive kay naamoy murag 10 out of 50 gigabyte, 'di ba natin ana parang, it's allowable, parang it's allowable, what they call that one? Can you help me out? What I'm trying to ano is that it's like this, the capacity, ah, capacity minus current water. Parang mm, oo, parang parang ano, what is that? It's under the tip of my tongue, but it's I cannot just, current what yeah, available storage, but is it available storage? What's the right term? No, available capacity. Can you give me the right term probably? Yeah, it's something like available storage, but in the case of water tank, I doubt if it's available storage. Is it okay? Puwede rin 'no? Sige, sige. Puwede na rin but, yeah. Sige, sige daw, sige. Parang available allocation, puwede 'no? Sige, anyway, I just forgot the term but, there's actually, the right term for that, I just forgot it. Anyway, sige allocation na lang, it depends sa inyo, available allocation ba, available sige availability na lang 'no, availability, yeah. Anyway, it depends to you 'no? It depends to the user naman. So, like here, if he or she wanna asa man dire, like, 'di ba current water is dagat current water sorry, gi-divide naman ako. Tapos we call it like, baliktad 'no? Availability ano, capacity. Sige, separate na lang nato into another one. Let's say it's like this ba, what I'm trying to sige availability na lang. Availability ba? Lain na pod 'no? Sige, sorry guys, Availability, I'm availability unsa kay atong tawag ato? Basta there's a right term for that, I just forgot what's the right term. I'm sorry, I'm out of vocabulary. Okay, and then we are going to put right it here. So let's say we run that program. Yeah, so puwede 'no, puwede na. Current water is 0, availability is 1,000, parang available storage mo, and then you added current water, availability is 8,000. Now, what we are going to do is let's do a meaningful one where the user can now get to add water, then remove water, has the option to do that. So that's we will end that to that 'no, mao na 'tong buhaton ron. Sige, so let's erase this one. Can I? Or you will be asking this? Maghimo na lang tag another. You're not o sige. Anyway, test water tank 2 na lang. Okay. So what I am going to do with this one is sige. Okay lang sa inyo ha? Again, okay lang for everyone to go out already? It's okay, it's okay, walay problem. So this time, we are going to have menu. Let's say, we will ask the user to add water. My goodness. Oops, add water, remove water, and you can do something like if you want to at in the middle of ano pwede ka magpa-set sa iyang capacity but it depends to you. But this time I'm gonna be like, sorry, it's supposed to be an array. Okay, so this time I'm gonna be creating a loop now for, let's have two while here, and then I'll have a choice or option or yeah, the string choose na lang or choice, choose what is being chosen. Okay, something like that. Okay, now if choose that equals and, so if pili niya and i-negate na to, okay, and then let's say we have here choose equals show input. Okay, just allow me to finish this one, ha. So select, let's say menu, and then this is actually the a, you can actually put here a 1 or 0 or null, okay? And then you have here menu as the array, this one. So you opted to display this one in your J option pane. And then let's say, and then you wanna display the first, parang default value na mag-display is 0. Sorry, this one here is 0. And then we will convert this into toString. Okay, so ayan. So this one, I'm gonna run this one para makita niyo unsay display. It's actually like this, no? Where is it now? Here. Makita ninyo ang display? Wala. Tara. Okay, so ayan, tara. Kani, makita ninyo? Hala, promise? Ah, ay kasi it's because I only, what happened kasi in our setting here, this is the problem with MS Team, no? I mean, I'm not able, I will not be able, ay, sana? Dili ko pwede mag-share screen sa inyo o kanang the entire window of my entire window, only a specific value. By the way, this is the display kana, but this time mao lang ninyo makita na dili na pud to apil ang ano, no? Tama ba? Oo. So I'm so sorry for that, but it's the codes, okay, kani siya mao to ganina ang diyan niyo makita ang code, di ba? Pero anyway, nag-record ko sa OBS ani, kato lang akong i-upload class katong sa OBS nga. Daw i-check na ko kung na-record ba sa OBS. Oh, it's recording, so sa OBS akong i-store anyway na set man sa OBS everything that we do, bahalag unsa to, basta it's anyway it's live. Makita man sa OBS, mao to ko i-upload. Wait for a while. Oo, opo, 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 opo. I will do, yes po, I will do it. Ah, yeah, it's basically that one. Wait lang, balik sa ako dito sa 'tong, asa naman 'to, 'tong call nawa na noon. Ay dara. So, go back ko, again mao to ang display, nakita niyo ang display? Kaning gamay nga part lang sa add water na, ha? Ba't kanina nakita? Yung maliit, medyo maliit? Gan'to lang 'no. Anyway, yan, that's actually ayan, balik ta sa code. Ayan, so that's what we are, so yun yung gagawin natin. It's basically we ask the user to input something like add water, remove water, and then if you want to proceed with like gusto mong mga graphics, like go ahead. It depends to you. But this time we are going to continue. So let's have hala, hala, stop presenting lagi. What happened? Okay pa? Na-stop presenting siya. Sorry, I'm sorry na okay, naa pa? Okey pa ko? Okay, sige. So let's say for an instance we will have switch here and then let's just copy paste this one and then let's have cases for every option. Okay, and then case, remove water. Yeah, that's it. Oh, mawala na duha. And then if you want to again, you want the user uh, to set their own capacity, pwede pod, no? Pwede mo magdungag diri og option or menu. Then don't forget to have break uh, keyword underneath rather. Sorry. And then so this time we'll have a amount. Yeah, it's double basically kasi pwede with decimal daw atong ano dili whole number. Depende sa inyo ha again. And then let's say we have here when we add water, we are going now to so I'm sure I'm already I hope so no nakita na naton yung mga tutorial natko last time. So that we'll need to parse the value once numerical atong anohon for J option pane. It's because by default it will only accepts object or string object. Yeah, basically object. Yeah, what happened? Show option. Show input dapat. Okay, wait for a while. Show input. So add water in sige, ana na lang. Liter. Okay. And then after that, you can ask the user to, I mean, you can, do we have water tank there? Wala pa, no? So we'll have to declare here the object of water tank. Let's say water tank equals new water tank. And then let's say for an instance, our tank would be like 5,000 liters lang iyang capacity. And then you have here tank that add water. So this is like yeah, amount. So if you wanna know, if you want to notify the user, you can actually do something like J option pane, show message dialog. If you want, no, if dili mo off, ganahan mo, show. Wait for a while. Ah, wala. Show message dialog. Dili na, wala na IntelliSense. So we have here null, and then sa ba ni? Add amount liter of water is added to tank. You don't have to be formal ha, but just in case if you especially sa mga girls no, ganahan sila mga inaana nga kanang formal kaayo ilahang program. So amount liter o yeah. Let's say for instance 2,000 liter of water is added to tank. And let's also do the same for remove water. And then for remove water, of course, we are going to call remove water. What happened with my cursor? And then amount of water is removed from, tama no, ang grammar from the tank. Ayan. Ah, reduce. Oh, reduce na lang. Sige, reduce. Reduced, liter of water is reduced from the tank. Okay. Bitaw no, kailangan pong remove no. Sige na lang. Alright, so we have here, reduce ta. Reduce ta or remove? Remove lang or unsa man? What's the right term? Reduce na lang. Okay, reduce if that's your preference. Yeah, and then after that, so we have reduce and add water here. So now, asa na itong mga observers? So, dire na, pangit man kung matay observers. So, this is what I actually would like to elaborate, no? Dapat atong mga observers kay i-display na to sa ila. Okay? So, for instance, we want to display the if our water or capacity of our water, tank rather, capacity \t. Let's say we have tank that uh, get capacity. Okay? And then we are going to sige ato siyang ibutang diri. So we just concatenate them, no? Backslash n. Wait for a while atong itungod. Okay, so we have current capacity or itapad na lang nato siya. So pwede po current water, sorry. We have tank that get current water. Okay. Oops. And then here, unsa kay ito availability ba to ang tawag nato, no? Sige, availability. Okay, tank jud no, that availability. Okay. If in case na wala mo nagbutag method that is intended for availability or getting availability, it's actually you can actually like get capacity minus tank that get capacity minus tank that get current water. Then again, no, the user has the option to do that. But since we already created that one in our ADT, okay, pwede na nato na siya. Anohon. Yeah. By the way, there's one thing that I forgot. There's actually in Java, it is good to include also parang you have to include in your 'di ba mga comments kasi it's for the user parang basis or descript at least you put a description on what this method all about before parang at least no na sila idea on what this one or what this method all about. Example, yeah, this is a transformer. Okay, so it's ang ginabot-an niya, this is what we call Java doc comment, no? It's for documentation purposes. Let's say for an instance, you want to know ang unsay ano na, this method is going to add water to the tank in liter. Okay? So, pwede magbutang at parameter. Okay? So, let's say amount in double. So, pwede ninyo siya i-bold. Okay? So, you can actually do something like this, no? Yan. Hoy, what happened? Yun, okay. And apps in your HTML, right, no? So, if this one has separate author, you can actually put author. Let's say Marcel Baste. It depends. If you want general, o pwede nyo ibutang diri sa taas. But in this case, butang na nako siya for adding of water. At least I have the idea on what this method all about. So in here, the moment I will call that add water choo-choo, okay, so I have here something like this one. Now, this method is going to add water to the tank in liter. So the parameters is amount in double. As you can see, double is now in bold format, and then the author is Marcel Baste. But again, you don't have to do that or to put every now and then author. It depends on your again preference. So pwede niyo na butangan inyong method every time maghimo og method you'll have that, and it's very important because that's before looking. I mean there's this one is a good way to let that user no understand what this method all about. At least na siya idea unsa na siya unsay ginabuhat ana na method. Okay, so that's for Java doc comment. Okay, so now balik ta dire availability sa may butang nato dire is dungag nato dire is full. If is full backslash t, so tank that is full. Actually pwede naton ibuhaton na lang dito sa pwede po naton ibuhaton diri sa water tank. Anyway, di later na lang. So diri na lang sa punta kay na naman ta dire. So backslash t na lang siya. Then we have, let's say, is empty. Or baliktad, dapat is empty diri sa pikas. Sige na lang, go ahead, move ta. So we have a tank that is empty. Ayun. So natay current water capacity, availability, basta it depends on your ano na ha, unsa man yung pag-format sa display, kung sa inyong gusto na mahitabo. So, this time, ato na lang siyang butang dire like dire lang ta butang choose. Okay? So, pili siya and then that one here 'no? So, or select di ay select na lang. Select man atong gibutang dira. So, you have here. So, by the way, you can go directly like hold here, but the thing is that we have actually format specifier here like \t. This will not work in J option pane without JText area. So, tagaan na lang ta mong ano daan tanan. Basta di na siya mo work. Again ha, di na siya mo work. So, to make it na mag-work siya, kailangan na to declare of JText. JText area, it's like notepad, no? Na i-follow niya ang format specifier nimo like \t para mas gwapo siya tan-awon. Okay, so let's say for an instance, we have here hold. Okay, so it's under javax.swing, still the same with option pane. We can actually do this one. Okay, so now that we have already created a program for removing and adding of water or reducing according to what you just said. So let's now run this one. But the thing is, I'm gonna switch it back to, balik na po ko dito sa, asa naman to ato ang, ayan, balik ko 3% para makita ninyo to. So this is the problem with MS Teams, no? Mag-zoom na lang punta. Wait. Hello guys. Napa man ko no? Ayan. Sige. Okay. Gutom na mo, pareha ta, gutom na pud bitaw ko. Okay lang, sige. Okay. That's it. So, gamay pero makita. Yeah, okay. Ay, what happened to our current water kasi nag-backslash n ta didto. Anyway, supposed to be dapat diri na siya magtapad. So so that's it, no? Capacity, current water availability. So if ever you will be adding some water to it, let's say 2,000. So 2,000 liter of water is added to tank. So yan, there you are. Current water is now 2,000. As you can see, observe that your is full and is empty is now going to be, yeah, it's already false. Kanina true na siya ang is empty. And then if you keep on adding water and water again and again, so yeah, and then yeah, nag-negative na. So this is what because we don't have an if conditions right here, no? So i-remove na to siya by uh, we only have 5,000 man no? So remove the water. So dapat mag-remove tag 2,000. So dapat mag-true na ang is full. Yan, is full now becomes true. Okay? So then let's click on end and then there. So, balik ta sa akong program, mag-switch na pod ko, switch back na pod ko to sharing the program. So, yan, MS Team again. Okay, so, kuha na to ning \n, \t lang ni siya. So, actually, pwede na to you can actually put this one right there in your water tank. Let's say, you want to public show info na lang, no? Public string show info if you wish, no? If you want. So after that, instead imong ibutang na return capacity blah blah blah. O inana. Pwede ra pod wala na tank kasi we are already here in this in this in this class. Puwede gani kantong actually puwede gani instead of the method inyong tawagon kani sila. But since, yeah, it's already medyo kapoy na i-edit basta inana. And then puwede ninyo ni tanggalon ang select. But again, you can remove it or you can make it stay. And then instead of like butang nimo siya dire, you can have like sige comment na lang nako niya. Okay. And then can actually say something like hold or write something like hold is equal to tank that show info. Yeah, show info. And then like that, no? So instead, mas low, yeah, remember what I've just said sa atong mga previous discussion sa video, the lesser the code, the better, okay? So it makes our code much lesser compared to earlier. So again, if we run this program, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. And then, balik na pod ko sa ato ang MS Team, i-share na pod nako siya. Again, just wait for a while. Share again. Menu, yan. There you are. Yan. So, right there. So, again, the same siya sa output na to kanina, but this time, we put the method. This one is actually from the water tank as a method. So, the only problem with this one, which is I will leave this one to you as your activity. Don't you worry, I'll just, which is this time, kato lang, no? Let's say for an instance, you add water. Wait, you add water. Hala, there's problem with sharing of window daw. Wait, wait. Yeah, add water. So, dili din ninyo makita ang pag-add og water tapos pag mag-display siya nga naka-add ng water, di niyo makita, no? Sige lang in the OBS class makita tinyo to siya, nag-record man ko. So, kadto na kana na lang, my goodness. Sige na lang. I don't know, walay option ang ano 'no, ang MS Team na the entire window ang ipakita. Sige lang, okay. Anyway, moingon na siya, nag-ingon na siya, "Add water is added to tank," kanang show message dialog, and then mauna pod ni, sige na pod kog share. So, basta ana siya. Basta sa OBS na lang niyo tan-awa class, I mean sa kato YouTube, i-download lang ako niatong atong ano karon recorded video. Na-record man isa, opo. And then, the only thing na problem is katong again atong gihatag ako ng scenario sa inyoha na if 5,000 imuhang Bisaya nako ha. If 5,000 imong amount of imong current water, ang capacity sa imong water 5,000. And then nag-add kag water 2,000. And then siyempre mag-add kag water 3,000, ma-full siya, tama? Okay? But if what if dili 3,000 imong i-add na water? So let's say 3,500. So actually i-process na sa ato ang gihimo kasi based sa ato ang business logic kay nag-if condition lang ta na if ma mo exceed siya, but this time wala kabalo atong object na if the amount of water plus katong the current water is going to be maglapas siya sa limit or sa atong capacity, wala tay na business logic sa ato ang object. So that is why i-process to niya. So mao to yung buhaton, which is I'll be sharing this code later on dito sa atong source code portal. And also I'll be uploading the video that I have recorded for week 3, which is kanina kay wala man mi nagkaklase sa ako ang morning kay isa ra ni adto. Ana ko mag-record na lang ko. I'll just record the video and then share na ko siya. So again, I'll need to upload it in the YouTube because I cannot embed it using the OneDrive. So I guess mao siguro na ang pinaka the best natong buhaton for today, no? And then we'll end because it's already 12. It's like past I mean it's almost 12 rather. So ayan. Do you guys yes, okay, okay, sure. No problem. No problem. Opo, opo. Ah, this one. Oo. I'll just give this everything, this one. I'll just give this one to you. It it's kamo na bahala to modify all this. It's okay, no problem. Oo, lagi no. Sige lang. Anyway, actually we thought actually we were told by our off the record lang ni we were actually we thought that it's still in the we are still on the second week because we were told na second week pa, but kayo nag-apas-apas nami because we'll have to have our weekday kasi wala pa na final ang loading before. So that is why double time me in uploading resources and all. And again, this is not the only subject that we have, a course that we have. So I will need to, pasensya na kayo kung medyo na ay mga lapses ang atuang tapos plus the BB Ultra really parang na problem kasi under maintenance pa siya. Anyway, our week 3 is a sorting algorithm. I already recorded 3 videos, enough na for you to learn it. So if namoy time probably we can arrange a parang things like this for that. But it's if ever now you're not satisfied with what I have recorded, just in case. Okay? So I guess we call it a day. Yeah, the deadline for this one is it doesn't matter as I've said na ako yung mga na-realize no it's modular so it's per module so once I will set mga assessment activities it will be before the end of the module so pero mas okay na mas answer ninyo siya or anuhan niyo before the module 4 kasi module 4 is like our assessment no final assessment it's like parang pangit po na after the assessment na mo nag-answer sa after module 4, module 1 assessment na mo nag-answer sa inyong mga activities. It's like I don't see the parang yeah, what I'm trying to say is it's not a good as anyway, basta inani siya, everything that I'll do for now, it's per module ang ato ang deadline. So meaning to say when I upload assessment quizzes, also with the when in terms of the assessment ha sa quizzes I can only give you 3 attempts and then sorry if I cannot give you what's the right answer for that for that kasi there are other students pa na did not take the quiz. So, just to avoid or at least ano lang 'no, prevent lang from sharing na, "Uy, ani ang answer." So, I know you will not do that because it's for your own sake naman kasi it's unfair. But I will just prevent that one from happening, okay? Is it okay? Am I do you I mean, am I understood? Okay lang? Okay. So, okay na lang. Okay, so per module tayo ha, per module ang again, I'm going to refine everything what I have just uploaded there and then ano na ko siya per module ang deadline. So next week will be our module 1 assessment. I will upload resources that you will be needing, especially assessment, mga practice assessment para sa inyong test assessment and I mean sa formative and summative assessment, okay? Is there any question you would like to throw? Sige. Oh, module. Opo, opo, tama, tama. Gano'n ko na, per module na siya. Per module 'no, the entire module. So, okay na 'yan sa inyo, favorable na 'yan? Opo, opo, yes, yes. Sige, sige, no problem. That's every 4 weeks. So, in the span of 4 weeks, so that's dapat 3 naman taro 'no, third week. So, at the end of probably by next week. So, ay ani oh, tama, tama. Thank you for clarifying that. It's 4 weeks ang duration per module and then, uh, every fourth week another module siya. So, basically dapat by next week, since for module 4 na tayo by next week, which is assessment na siya, walang classes, we are not allowed to do classes by next week. What we can do for now is just keep on uploading and uploading resources na pwede ninyo unsa na you can actually work on. And then again, as I promised to you that I'll give mga test quizzes na probably will come out in the exam, no? Most probably will come out. Most of the the questions or the items there will also come out in the assessment. And that would be everything that I'm going to ano no upload as if it's an assessment, whether it's summative or formative, it would be in the ang yung deadline is uh, so since for next week is week 4, no, module 1 assessment, so it's going to be on is it okay on Saturday, kasi at least on Sunday I will start checking na kung kinsa lang 'tong mga nakaapas. Okay na ta na. Opo, opo, opo. Next week Saturday, next week Saturday. But please I mean do your activities within the week, kasi assessment na next week. So probably basin nay mga mogawas sa exam na dili mo familiar, no, tama ba? Opo, opo. Week 3. Oh, week 3. Yeah, I'm currently recording week 3 actually. Gi-record na lang nako kanina. I'm going to put it there in our ano. It's actually not that it's not that difficult actually. Program din. Oo. No, do you want it na may time limit or wala? Wag lang? Sige. Okay, we can arrange it. So, no time limit, but is it but in the final assessment, magbigay ako ng time limit, ha? Sa final, okay lang, please na. Sa final assessment parang, may time. Sige, let me think about it, okay? Let me think about it. Mm. Sige, what else? Sige, give it to me, baby. Unsa pa? Oo, oo, see. Okay, no problem. So, I guess we call it a day. I really love this one, this, what we are doing right now. It's I love I love the way you interact with me, and I appreciate that you ask questions. As much as I can answer it, as much as I'm knowledgeable, I will answer it, no. But there are, for an instance na dili na ako mano, I will just be honest, okay? So I guess we call it a day. Thank you guys for joining in and staying, and have a great day. See you guys soon. Bye bye. Bye bye.